Glaciella and Rosaluna stand together to face the Realm Scourge. But its power is overwhelming. Unable to stop the onslaught, the forces of Wizet were all but crushed. That is when Gilgamesh appeared, with Sterne and Seymour joining the battle at his side. But even then, the Realm Scourge could not be stopped. Eventually, it disappears, as if its hunger for carnage had been sated. Meanwhile, Mont and his companions arrive at Ovis Castle. There, they carve 3 lines of defense to meet the invasion from Heimler.
You missed me, did you?
That's right.
King Oberon.
There is no need for concern, Gernsback. Leave us.
Yes, Your Highness.
Should I take this as a sign that you don't completely hate me then?
Can you just tell me what it is you want?
I already told you. I simply desired to see you. You've changed. Seeing as you confiscated one ring from me, then claimed another from Jaden.
Confiscated? If I recall correctly, you offered it to me.
You would have had me killed had I not handed it over. We both know this. Besides, Lucille entrusted that ring to me.
So, you are here to demand I give it back. But I could make the same claim for keeping the ring. It is the only memento I have left of her, after all.
Then let us make a deal.
What kind of deal?
If you merely hand Ovis Castle to me, I shall not meddle in your affairs ever again. I don't think it is that bad in exchange.
So that is why you mentioned the ring. To sow the seeds of guilt within me?
That has nothing to do with our deal. Come on, what do you say?
What if I refuse?
You really have changed. You were never the kind to talk like that before.
I have not changed. I am merely doing my duty and uniting all of Ardra as I await the coming of the true King Jaden.
And what if your true Jaden does not appear? You have already surpassed Jaden. Gernsback and your other followers. Even I believe that to be true. Oberon.
I'll give the Ovis matter due consideration.
May I remain here at least until you have made your decision?
Do as you please. But to be safe, I shall have guards assigned to you.
That is your prerogative. After all, this is your castle now. If you're heading off to Ovis, you might want to pay a visit to the places you and Lucille shared fond memories at.
Today we march to commence our invasion of Ovis. We just received word that Leonis has lent its forces to the defense of Ovis. However, that does not change our plans in the slightest. If we can lay hold of the ring that Leonis' King Mont carries, then we shall have nothing to ever fear. After we have seized the lands of Ovis, we shall use that as a base to attack Hourne and speed up our unification of the whole of Ardra. Jeter, I leave the defense of this castle and the surveillance of Shalza in your hands.
As you wish.
Gernsback, you and Resnick shall accompany me.
As you command, my king.
Are you sure the two of us are the best choice, Your Highness?
You have concerns?
No, Your Majesty. It is just that in war there are no absolutes. So...
I understand what you are trying to say. However, Isaac and Effinger set out to search for Elia a short while ago.
then what about more?
She has left Heindler.
Then, the rumors were true.
She made it known to me at her parting. But Moore told me her objective was the destruction of Rundal. Now that that has been achieved, she wants to live out a peaceful life back in her homeland.
I can barely believe it.
I do not wish to force people to fight for us. After we have taken Ovis, I shall have to select a new member of the Six Fangs. That is all from me. Let us now set off for Ovis! Show no complacency, and fight with all your might!
Huzzah!
Stop the carriage!
Is something the matter, Your Highness?
I just wish to breathe some fresh air.
Understood, Your Highness.
At ease, Gernsback.
As you command.
I shall take a quick walk. Have the men rest.
King Oberon. You must not head off unattended. We are already in Ovis territory.
Then, perhaps you can accompany me.
Yes, Your Highness. You all get some rest here while you can. What is this village?
This brings back fond memories. This was my, or should I say, our, special place.
You mean yours and Lady Lucille's?
That is correct. It was just the once, but the villagers allowed Lucille and I to rest up here. It must have been a couple of years before we invaded Ovis alongside Rundal. We used to both come, unattended, to the nearby meadows, where we would lie down and discuss our plans for the future. But on that day, it was exceptionally hot, and the dry southerlies caused Lucille to feel unwell. It was then that the people from this village extended us a helping hand. They were good people. They paid us reverence and even celebrated our visiting them. We were so touched by their hospitality that Lucille and I made a promise that we should both come back and visit this village again once Heindler and Ovis were united. To see the village still prospering like this today warms my heart indeed.
It seems as though one of the villagers has noticed us. He might know something. Please, stay here a moment.
You have suffered incessant feuding with the neighboring villages, you say? Tell me more about that.
Well, you see,
Speak your mind.
this land used to be plagued by droughts, so we could hardly raise proper crops, you see. It was so bad a good number of us starved to death. So then we petitioned Lady Lucille, you see. Asked if we could draw water from the Moluar River that flows to the north of us for our fields.
And did Lucille hear your petition?
That she did. Told us we had been kind to her that day she and you stopped by here, and that it was the least she could do. But then...
What happened?
they went and diverted all the water from the Moluar River to our village.
All the water, you say? Good gods.
Thanks to that, we no longer suffered water shortages.
But now the other villages do instead.
That be right.
So, that is the reason conflicts between you and the neighboring villages have increased.
My king.
The ones tasked with managing the river's water must have simply misunderstood Lucille's intention. But it pains me to know that the village we had so fond memories of should be caught up in such a sorry state of affairs. When this battle is over, I shall see to it that the waters are shared fairly between each of the nearby villages.
You mean that, Your Majesty, sir?
You shall all have to be patient a short while longer, though.
Why, thank you kindly.
Let us return to the carriage.
As you command.
So, the Crystal Sanctum is just going to sit back and watch? War is on the verge of breaking out between Ovis and Heindler. And all the while, the founder of the Sanctum chooses to immerse himself in his own personal research. After Rundal was defeated, wasn't the plan to use Lucille in order to win over Oberon, take their rings, and then annihilate Heindler? At least that's what I heard from Suddenly. Did I mishear? Was it my imagination? My ears playing tricks on me? No, no, and no. Why, I find myself at a loss knowing I took part in his silly daydream to bring his dead mistress back to life. I am not one to shy away from singing my own praises, so I shall tell you straight. I am the greatest artilleryman in all of Ardra. Did you get that? It is important, so I shall say it again. I am the greatest artilleryman in all of Ardra. There is a vast multitude of people wishing to hire my services. A veritable line of potential employers. Do you understand? I am a coward to the bottom of my bones, but here I am, chomping at the bit to take part in heated warfare. And yet, I seem to be on the only side that isn't satisfying my needs.
Is that all you wish to say?
Yes, I believe it is. So, is my passionate temperament clear to you now? I suppose it would be going too far if I said that I would rather die than live a boring life. Yet I am well on my way to reaching that state of mind. And that is a fact. How about we leave Sodderly to his experiments, and the rest of us go attack Heindler to lighten the mood? Well, how about it? Be a good sport. If we don't do something, then the crystal sanctum will go to waste.
You talk too much. If you find yourself at a loss with all your free time, then I have an assignment for you.
Oh, goody! Let us hear it.
I want you to keep Lucille company.
No, absolutely not.
If that is your answer, then I will have you leave the sanctum immediately. It is not appropriate for a man with only his own self-interests at heart to remain in such a sacred place as this.
Only my own self-interests? You seem to be greatly mistaken, my dear. Why do you think I constantly go beyond the call of duty for you, or worry so much about the future of the sanctum? Now that Kuri is dead, I shall gladly speak ill of him. But I served even him and his crazed pursuits with my full loyalty. It never even crossed my mind to dare take over Wizet. The same goes for the Crystal Sanctum. I aim not to rule myself, but to be an absolute ruler's right-hand man. I would like for nothing more than a great king, one regarded with awe by all, to look into my eyes and tell me they could not have claimed supreme rulership if it were not for my help. Why, I'd be so happy I'd probably wet myself with excitement. In other words, I desire to be the Kingmaker. Yes, Kingmaker. What a most pleasant and delectable ring that word has.
So that is what you want then?
Indeed, more than anything. So, you can see I am far off only having my own self-interest at heart. I am a rare breed, if I do say so myself. Besides, if you are going to talk of men with only their own self-interests at heart, then the first person that comes to mind is none other than His Holiness. Why, he is selfishness incarnate. Would you not agree? Oh, does that make you angry? How oddly surprising.
Why would that surprise you?
Sodderly himself told me that you are nothing more than a puppet, devoid of any emotion.
I do not argue this.
How sad to not be loved by one's own creator, one's own father.
His Holiness shall unify his followers and guide them to eternity. I am but a tool to help accomplish that. And in this, I have never felt discontent. Not even once.
Then let me ask you this. Did not the great Lord Sodderly use his precious followers as nothing more than disposable human shields in that war we just fought? You cannot deny it. I was there, and these eyes of mine never miss a thing. It was not an act of desperation, was it? No. He built up his base of followers fully intent on using them as discardable pawns from the very beginning.
You are wrong.
You know I'm not. Surely you grow aware of what is to come. that he not only intends to abandon his believers, but even Ardra as well. Oh, so you wish to go a few rounds with me now, do you? What an interesting prospect. Show me then. Show me the metals Suddenly's current right hand has to offer. Oof! You certainly mean business, don't you? But does that not prove you are more than a mere tool? You have emotions budding within you. Do not look so grim. Listen here and listen well. As I told you before, the crystal sanctum shall go to waste if something is not done. If you truly care about the sanctum and its believers, then follow those emotions of yours. There are many who would gladly fill the place Suddenly is leaving behind. Those remnants of Lycaros, the people of Izog, starting with that Garvel fellow. None of them, however, are of the caliber I wish to serve. If lowlifes such as them were to come to control the sanctum, then I would promptly wish you all adieu. I believe I have said all I need to say on the matter. The rest is in your hands. Do nothing and die a miserable death serving His Holiness, or take over the leadership of the Crystal Sanctum in order to ensure its survival. Oh, and as for keeping Lucille company, all right, I shall do as you wish. Just remember what kind of man you deal with. You might come to regret it later.
This was also one of our special spots.
I know, Your Highness. These were the woods where you first encountered Lady Lucille.
Indeed. The place where we first happened to meet. It was right over there. A large tree once stood there. And it was from behind it where Lucille poked her head out so timidly. The canopy above us was filled with the chirping of birds. I can still recall it all so vividly. But now, what happened to this land? To the forest that was once a dear memory for us?
Well, you see...
Tell me the truth. Was it Lucille?
Yes, my lord. But Lady Lucille said she did it for her own sake, she did. There were beasts that made the woods here their home, you see. Used to damage the village's fields, they did. So you see,
You reported that to Lady Lucille?
That I did. Suppose she thought that meant she could solve our woes just by getting rid of the monsters. Which was all well and good, but... while the woods might have been dangerous, the nuts and berries we gathered from there were an important source of income for us. We didn't want to lose them.
Surely there were other ways of saving the village than setting fire to the woods and burning them down to ashes.
One could also assume that the person tasked with the duty misinterpreted Lucille's orders and set fire to the woods. But I sense that is not what happened here.
My king.
Lucille did have a habit of losing sight of other things when she set her mind to a cause. She certainly could not see the forest for the trees at times, but to take it this far... I was commanded to attack Ovis. He said we would do it together. Perhaps, in his wisdom, he was already aware of the many tragedies Lucille had a habit of causing. Was he the real King Jaden? Or was it the imposter? No. It matters little now. What's done is done. Let us keep moving. We shall soon be able to see Ovis Castle.
Yes, Your Highness.
At last, Ovis Castle is in view. Be ready for ambushes. And do not be complacent. Pulverize the enemy with all your might until there is nothing left of them.
There we are. Sorry to disturb you in the midst of prayer.
And who might you be?
The name is Abbott. So, what were you praying for?
For our world to find peace, of course. Also for the villains who disturbed that peace to die a most gruesome death.
Well then, I had better pray that I am not included amongst them.
So, have you been assigned to stand watch over me? Is that why you are here?
What would such an innocent thing as you need watching over for?
Do not act the fool. You know they want to keep me away from that underground laboratory of theirs.
That is news to me.
Really? In that case, forget I said anything of it. Putting that aside, this chapel is indeed a thing of great beauty.
Not that I had any hand in its construction, but I am glad you like it.
I wish we could build something like this back in Ovis. That decides it then.
Decides what, exactly?
I shall ask Father to begin construction of one immediately. Which means I shall be taking my leave and heading back to Ovis now, thank you. Would you kindly hurry and prepare a carriage for my imminent departure?
I'm sorry, Lucille, my dear. You know that is an impossible request.
And why is that? Oh, I see. You require gil, do you? I suppose you do look somewhat ill-financed. Why don't you talk to Father about that? Never fear. If you explain that it is a request from me, he will surely see to your needs.
No, gil is not the issue, I'll have you know. My dear Lucille, as far as the outside world is concerned, I'm afraid you are dead.
Well, that's no good, is it? When did I meet my supposed demise exactly? I am obviously very much alive. Whatever shall we do? King Oberon must surely be worrying himself sick about me.
Heavens above, are you yet to hear? Your dear Oberon joined forces with Jaden to invade Ovis. There was a good chance you could have been killed as well.
Why, you make the most outrageous japes. My Lord Oberon would never do such a thing. You see, he and I made promises for our future together.
Well, I suppose this is the fellow who betrayed Jaden that we are talking about. Who is to say there won't be another dramatic turn of events leading to a rekindling between you and Oberon?
Oh dear, Lord Oberon had a falling out with King Jaden, you say? I know what happened. King Jaden must have tried to come between Lord Oberon and me. That has to be it. Why, it is the only plausible explanation. King Jaden clearly must have assumed I would steal his Lord Oberon from him and fell into a fluster. But maybe, just maybe...
Just maybe... what, exactly?
King Jaden might also have feelings for me.
Huh?
Oh, this is quite the quandary. Whatever shall I do? I have already pledged my body and soul to Lord Oberon. Oh, I know! I should arrange something between King Jaden and Shalza. Yes, that would settle things nicely. You there. Would you be a darling and head over to Ovis Castle and tell my sister Shalza about this? This is a great plan, one that will make us all happy. Kindly get to it, on the double.
Are you being serious?
Why, of course I am. It is also about time that she returned my ring as well. But I do worry that sister of mine won't be able to get anything done without it.
Does that imply that you do not need it to get things done?
But of course! For instance, I very much doubt I would need my ring to kill the likes of you.
Is that so?
Oops! I am so sorry. Did I say that out loud? Please do not think badly of me.
Well, she was quite the character. And most certainly the type I would not wish to have on my side. I have a bad feeling about this. That woman gives me the collywobbles.
Are you scared?
Don't be silly! You're just trembling with excitement before battle, right? Right?
I wish I could say that were so. But if I'm being honest with you, I am scared. Unbearably so.
I did not expect you to say that.
It's always the case when war is upon us.
Always?
I'm not worried about losing my own life, for I stopped caring about that long ago. I worry about whether I can bring you all, who Queen Machérie entrusted in my care, back home alive. Or that due to my command, I'll leave King Mont and the others in the lines behind us in a disadvantageous position. These worries always find a way to fill my head. And I don't have Ramada by my side to read the stars for us. When I listen carefully, all I hear are the footsteps of a future filled with hopelessness.
Lady Lilith.
But if I were to curl up into a ball and cover my ears right now, what would become of my fellow soldiers? If I were to succumb to my fear and flee, what would become of my friends I leave behind? Oh, if only I weren't in a position where everyone's futures depend on me. These things eat at me every time battle is about to begin.
But still, you don't think about just stepping down from your position as commander?
Oh, I do. All the time. But when I see the smiles on everyone's faces after battle, I always feel glad that I didn't leave command to someone else. I even start to think that maybe we pulled it off because I was in charge. Of course, I know that's just me getting ahead of myself. But in war, all that matters are the results. Those who survive are the winners after all. So that's why I always stand on the front line. I won't let anyone else. I simply can't. So until the day my legs become paralyzed with fear, I shall fight. For King Mont, and for everyone's future.
Well, you've won me over.
I'm honored.
Back when we served Lycaros, it was downright miserable.
I remember it well.
Glad one of us can chuckle about it. When power's considered everything, people get the wrong idea that you can rise up the ranks based on your own abilities.
But what it really means is the weak are plundered or killed, and no one is allowed to argue otherwise. If your commander is stronger than you are, you don't get to disobey them.
And even if that way of life repulses you at first, so long as you are on the benefiting end, you soon become corrupted by it. I certainly did my share of things I'd rather never have to tell anyone about. Truth be told, when Lycaros was routed by Rundal, part of me was relieved.
I must say I agree. Not even for a moment did I consider cursing Rundal for destroying my homeland or anything remotely of the sort. I am just blessed that I was able to meet Queen Machérie.
Although that Engelbert fellow is so inflexible, it drives me up the castle walls at times.
I think we can all relate to that. We may be at an overwhelming disadvantage here.
But it almost feels good, doesn't it? Going into battle with our chests full of pride like this.
We shall show them that Hourne's 3rd Division Sempitern is a force to be reckoned with.
Here they come.
We've got company.
Yeah.
Camillo. So, we meet on the battlefield yet again.
I do not regret to tell you this, but we penetrated your front line with great ease.
I had them hold back. Can't have you using them as your excuse for when you lose to me here, you know.
Impudent as always, I see.
I see remnants of Lycaros' army amongst your troops. Did you really think such a slipshod mob could stop the likes of Heindler?
You never know unless you try.
And to think we gave you the chance to walk away last time.
The defender of the downtrodden never walks away from anything. You have no idea what kind of training I've been through since you last saw me. Elzarel here is a heartless taskmaster, you know? Her relentless special training wasn't just blood, sweat, and tears. It was actual blood spraying all over the place. This slave driver doesn't know the meaning of going easy. The number of times she cut right into me. Do you understand now? It's the stuff of nightmares. So if I walk away from you lot, the only thing waiting for me will be more countless days of that living hell. Even if I wanted to back down, I just can't. Oh, jeez. What was that for?
For blabbering on too much.
See what I mean?
Then let us spare you of that living hell. You can die knowing that you sided with an incompetent leader.
Incompetent leader? You don't happen to mean Mont now, do you?
And what if I do?
Gadzooks. You really have no idea what you're talking about, do you?
Excuse me?
I'll give you a friendly warning, seeing as we're old acquaintances and all. If you can't tell what's so special about him, then you're still grunts yourselves.
Enough of your prattling!
Heinler never forgives traitors.
It pains me to say it, but let's give him this round.
A wise decision.
Do not think you can get away!
King Oberon has already broken through this line of defense. We cannot trail too far behind him. We push on. Do not fall behind His Majesty.
That seemed to go well.
Those idiots fell for my masterful performance, hook, line, and sinker.
If that's what you want to call it, sure.
Hey, what does that mean?
You've grown stronger, Camillo.
Huh?
I didn't think you had it in you to go head-to-head with the Six Fangs. I'm starting to see you in a new light.
Oh, you noticed, did you? Even when I hide my skills, the seasoned pros can still discern them.
Blackwit.
Ow! That hurt! What was that for?
Things went well thanks to the effort of our troops at the first line of defense. That and the enemy's arrogance.
Speaking of pros, you're clearly one as well to recognize our great, yet subtle tenacity back there. Ouch!
No getting carried away.
How dare you hit your boss on the head?
You mean former boss. I am your boss now, and you are my underling.
All right, enough fooling around. We should probably start closing back in on Heimler. Don't let them notice we are coming up behind them, you hear?